I just love our opening riff. That's just awesome. Welcome, everyone, to episode 7 of the Power Play podcast, brought to you by Power Play Sports. I am Michael Ledoux.
I am the Dan Dalin.
I am Cameron Dalin.
And I am Trey Ledoux.
Awesome. Welcome, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good,
Pretty
I
good.
guess.
Yeah.
Good, you guess?
Yeah, last minute technical
Sick.
issues. As always, that's how you know the world is still going round. If it all worked
Ooh.
out, it's probably
Who's that over your shoulder there, Dan? There's something on your shoulder.
Yeah, this is number 75 of the Oswego Buccaneers, Estelle the Weasonator Dalin.
Welcome, Weasonator.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
I think we're going to have some of your teammates joining us pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really great.
One word to answer every question. Good job.
Yeah, she's a one-word answer kind of person. Keeps it pretty simple. Hey, so Dan, give us a run through on where the Power Play podcast is, and just so everybody knows where we're at right now.
Yeah. Power Play Podcast NNY, available on Facebook. By tomorrow, it will be available on YouTube. Power Play Podcast NNY is the YouTube channel name. You just got to finish uploading videos. It's available everywhere that podcasts can be found. So you're listening in the car, you're working out on your Peloton or running on your treadmill, walking around town. Grab that, whether it's Apple Podcast or Google Podcast or Spreaker or whatever it is that you use. Power Play Podcast NNY. Spotify, it's even there. We're everywhere.
Wow. Cameron, you know what would be a good idea is when you're practicing, when you're running indoor track in that practice, you should really put a pair of headphones on and listen to the podcast because you haven't heard enough of it, right?
Yeah.
No indoor track today?
No, I've been home like past 2 days.
Not feeling well.
Yeah.
You need
Just
to
been
rest up
home
for
with a
hockey.
cough. We've been
Oh.
challenging
I had a fever.
Yeah.
for half a day. It was a high fever, but it went away.
What about you, Trey? What have you been up to?
Just preparing for the Canucks game.
Who are the Canucks, dude? Why is your name Canucks are greater than the Bruins?
I just like facts. I just like
You like
factual things.
Like that.
Tell us what happened. Tell us what happened in the world of the Vancouver Canucks this week, because I know you want to get it out there. There's some big changes on the horizon for the Vancouver
Yeah,
Canucks.
the head coach and general manager of the Canucks were both fired. And right now, the intern GM is Stan Smeel. He used to play for the Canucks back in the olden days. And the new head coach is Bruce Boudreau, who has won like almost 600 NHL games. So he's a really good coach.
Yeah. Who did he coach with before?
He's coached with a lot of teams. He's coached with the Capitals, the Minnesota Wild.
Oh, wow. As long as
Yeah.
he doesn't coach for the Islanders, we're not big Island. Oh, sorry
Hey,
about that.
Islanders won their first game in a long time this week.
Yeah, first win in 11 games.
It feels like first game in 11 years, Trey.
I think it might be the COVID. You know, they were COVID out for a while, and I think maybe the precursor to COVID and why they were losing so much is they weren't feeling well. They were coming down with COVID. Yeah.
It could be. They could have been a little under the weather, late nights, because then it was a tough season. I met a Ranger fan yesterday, and he was sharing how he thought that the Islanders had a tough open to the season. 23 road games before their first home game. That's just tough. So from here on out, we'll see how they do. Got the one win under their belt in a long time. And we're just gonna have to take it from here. I still love Barry Trotz. He's an awesome coach. No reason to change that.
No, I just think it's a bunch of different circumstances.
He's a great coach, but his style of play is quite boring.
He likes
Well,
defense.
He plays a boring game.
Yeah, he's not a run and gun kind of guy. Hey, so I just wanted to give a shout out. I like to recognize our sponsors, Power Play Sports. Power Play Sports as you know, is located here in Watertown. They have upcoming December 27th through the 30th. They have Battle of the Biscuit. Take a look at Battle of the Biscuit. You can sign up 3 to 6 players per team, $60 for members of Power Play Sports, $100 for non-members. All that can be found on their website. Additionally, I'd like to thank, and I'll thank him every week because I like that opening riff. It fits what we do. Tony Solari, schooloftone.com. They do our opening riff. They did it for us complimentary. We appreciate it, Tony. Tony does, he teaches music. He sells musical instruments. Located on 25355 New York Highway Route 3 in Watertown. Can be reached at 315-489-9644. Tony Solari School of Music. So thanks, Tony, for that. And just wanted to talk a little bit about the outdoor rink at Power Play Sports, because I know that I'm seeing some snow fly. I don't know, it's probably flying even more down your way, but I saw some snow flying out there, and the weather's getting cold, so I think they're talking about flooding it and getting some outdoor ice soon. They have indoor ice, they have synthetic ice, and I mentioned it last week, I'll mention it again. They're an official supplier of True Hockey, which is really cool. So not only do they have CCM stuff in stock, and lots of different CCM stuff, even that new stick. What's the name of that stick, Trey? The trigger? No, the trigger. They got the new trigger. 6. Yeah, they have the Trigger 7 coming in, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much does that stick cost?
I'll do a quick research on that.
Do a quick research on that. But they do have True Skates.
That should have been my trivia question for today.
Yeah, how much does that cost? So let's talk a little bit about your weekend, Dan. I know you were really busy with a tournament. You might even add a color analyst or two, or one at least, over the weekend. So
that's right, absolutely. So the weekend started off on Friday with the Ontario Bay's annual home tournament, the Lamont Nicholson Memorial Tournament. Lamont Nicholson was a huge contributor to Salmon River Hockey, which is the youth hockey organization that plays out of Pulaski, the Haldane Arena, home of Storm Hockey, as well as he had 2 boys that played in Ontario Bay on the high school team. So he had 2 boys that played high school. He played 2 boys that were from mites all the way through midgets, and he passed away when his oldest was a senior in high school, I believe it was. So he would always be around. And as a tribute to him, they renamed the home tournament the Lamont Nicholson Memorial Tournament. We actually had his 2 boys come up. That was Daniel and Andrew. He has 3 boys, but those are the 2 that played hockey. They were there for the ceremonial puck drop when Ontario Bay played their first game. So it's always a bit emotional for everybody at Salmon River and Ontario Bay, and we really like having the family involved, and just as a tribute to him. The hockey itself was wild and unpredictable. It started off IHC and Fulton, that was 0-0 at the end of the first period with 1 penalty for either team. And at the end of the second period, it was 3-1 IHC, and Fulton came back and scored 2 more in the third. And that ever terrible 3-1 lead came back to bite IHC a little bit as Fulton tied it up, went to overtime, scoreless there, went to a shootout. And it came down to the last shot of the shootout. It was exhilarating. I was blown away. I forgot to keep track of who was taking the shots. I didn't have a list.
Let me tell you, I remember because I was on the bench on the IHC side. And one thing I know is Jaden Romig had a hat trick. He's the guy who got the goals. And then the shootout, well, there was a snip of a goal by Logan Gilbert, who went blocker side on the goalie from Fulton. Oh my God, what a shot by Logan Gilbert. But the winner was Michael Mickers O'Donnell had that goal, and it sealed the deal for IHC, which put them in the championship game against, well, I don't want to blow the score of the next game, so I'll let you talk a little bit about the next game, because the game after that involved Bailey's team.
That's right. So after that was Ontario Bay and Amherst. And that game started out, I mean, Amherst came out pretty hot. They took two quick goals in just over 2 minutes to go ahead 2-0. And then Ontario Bay came back just before the end of the first period to get their first goal. They scored their second goal less than 30 seconds into the second period to tie it up. We had power play goals. Ontario Bay had a shorthanded goal. And at the end of it, though, Ontario Bay scored 6 unanswered goals. So they ended up winning 6-2. Amherst came out hot in this game. And then the next day also in the consolation game against Fulton, Amherst came out. They were unstoppable in the first period. They didn't score in that first game, that first period against Fulton, but they played really, really good hockey before Fulton just came away and took it away from Amherst. So Amherst seems to have a solid game plan. They just don't have the legs. They don't have the legs, and I think a lot of that is the mental attitude also. As soon as they got scored on, they fell apart. They immediately went to their heels. You could see the shoulders shrug, and they defeated themselves in that aspect. Yep.
So. And, and then the championship was great because it was a face-off between you and me, right? And you had the color guy there. Trey Ledoux was doing color with you. I was over on the bench across the way, and really, I thought we were going to take down the Ontario Bay team with IHC because we jumped out to a quick lead. And forget about it, man. Ontario Bay just brought it like hard, especially in the third period. I think they had 5 goals or something in the third period.
Yeah. So before we get to that, I do want to say, Trey was there doing color commentary with me for both games on Saturday, and it was outstanding. Trey did a great job. Loved having you there. I got a lot of positive feedback, and the more often that we can connect for you to do color for more and more games, the better off it'll be.
Thank you. Yeah. It was really fun. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Excellent. What was it that you enjoyed about doing it?
It was just everything. Like I like just like adding a little color to like the broadcast, and it was just fun, I guess.
Excellent. Yeah, and again, you did a great job adding in appropriate things. I never had to worry about you saying anything inappropriate, which sometimes can get scary when you're working with somebody for the first time. So that was a big relief. But getting to the way Ontario Bay played, listen, Ontario Bay has not lost this year. They've won 4 games. It's unreal. You have to go back. You have to add in the last 5 years if you want to get the last 4 Ontario Bay wins, let alone 4 in a row.
Yeah, I just got to give a shout out to the Wilson kid, to the Olsen kid, to Blevins, to Newton. I mean, it just depth. Brodeur. I liked seeing a lot of Unity kids there. I love seeing those Unity kids because there were Unity hockey players on both sides of the squad. The camaraderie was unbelievable. They took a picture at the end. And huge kudos goes out to Ontario Bay. Decisive win. I think the final was 8-2, and they ran away with it in the third. So it was a great tournament. It was fun to be part of that.
And all the hockey that I was involved in, from the Lamont Nicholson tournament to the high school games up through till yesterday, other games that I witnessed, it's just great to see how much overlap there is between the players. They've played together on other teams. They're currently playing against each other and with each other, whether it's a snow belt, a tournament bound, or a high school team. But to see them really going at it competitively on the ice and in between whistles or after the game, still being buddy-buddy, the locker room jabs at each other. It's just terrific to see that sportsmanship, because a lot of times I think as an outsider, I never played hockey myself, but watching it, it just seems like the most ruthless, violent exposition of raw strength out there. But at the end of the day, they do recognize they're the good ones recognize they're playing a game, and this is all in good fun. It's in to be competitive, and afterwards we're still friends.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, so in the essence of I guess saving a little time for Coach Wells, Coach, can you hear us okay? I don't know if your audio is up and running.
I got you. Got me
good
all right?
deal. We got you all right.
Yeah, Coach,
want to welcome you.
Video screens.
Yeah, you're on 2 video screens. I like it.
How's that work? I
don't
tried to
know, but-
launch on one and I got it wouldn't let me in, and so now I had to go to a different browser and it let me in. So
Yeah. So we can just leave it like
Two-
that. That's fine. Double trouble.
two
That's it.
two for the price of one.
Absolutely.
Actually,
Hey,
two
Coach.
for the price of none.
Check this out, Coach. I'm rocking. I'm rocking
My
some
God.
swag, Coach.
Look at you. Look at
Trey's
that.
rocking it over there too. So, we're really proud to be
Representing.
St. Lawrence fans. Yeah, absolutely, Coach. Absolutely.
We
So
can take
welcome
all we can
to-
get.
Yeah, welcome to Coach Chris Wells of the St. Lawrence University Women's Hockey Program. We have some young lady hockey players on too from the Oswego Buccaneers 12U team that recently won their championship. We'll talk with these ladies a little bit later, but we really wanted to say hello right now to Coach Wells. Coach, I just wanted to welcome you aboard and really, if you could tell us a little bit about the beginnings of your life in hockey and where you started and kind of how you got to be the head coach at St. Lawrence University, that'd be a great start.
Wow. I thought I was only on for 10 minutes. We'll probably take a little bit longer if we go for there. But I started playing. I'm born and raised in Canton, New York. Both my parents worked at St. Lawrence. My dad taught here for 45 years. My mom was a nurse for 25. So that's what brought us to Canton. They both went to the University of Michigan and moved to Canton for a job opening in the political science department at St. Lawrence. 5 years old, Bernie McKinnon pulled me out of my house and said, I'm going to play hockey. He was a former men's coach, former women's coach, and certainly a family friend. Lenny and Bernie, their children are friends of our family as well. My two sisters started playing Pee Wee hockey and made all the treks through the North Country to Brazier and Salmon River and the Messina Arena and Potsdam, Canton, Alex Bay, Clayton. Had all the great snack bars at all the local rinks, and miss those dearly. And with all the travel teams and I see you guys talking about some of the tournaments and everything. I know the game's grown quite a bit, but I know a lot of fond memories of just making a lot of the small trips over to Potsdam and back and up to Alex Bay and Clayton and Watertown area. Playing against Ricky Berkman and those guys growing up, but. Just continued on, played through high school, went to Hotchkiss as a postgraduate, and then came and played at St. Lawrence for 4 years with Joe Marsh and PJ Flanagan, who was a former women's coach and a former assistant coach at St. Lawrence, was also our high school coach. Went to Colgate for 4 years, coached there from 94 to 98. Prior to that, had a 2-year stint, 1 year in France, played in Toulouse, 1 year in England. In 93, 94, then went to Colgate, worked with Donnie Vaughn and Stan Moore, who's another local section tenor at Colgate for 4 years, and then went out to Western Michigan. My wife and I moved out there in 99. Was there for a year and moved back to work with Joe from 99 to 98 with the men's team. And then when PJ Flanagan moved down to take over the Syracuse program, I walked down the hall and I've been the women's head coach since 2008.
Wow. Quite a run,
That's it
Coach.
right there. Yeah.
That's it. That wraps it all up.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Hey, Coach, you know what I saw today, which is really good news, is I saw a North Country girl signed at St. Lawrence, a girl that my daughter played against, Kennedy Emerson. That's good news for you guys, isn't it?
Not allowed to comment on any sort of recruiting on the show anywhere publicly. So
okay, gotcha. We're gonna move in another direction. Talk a little bit about
you got it.
An interesting weekend with Clarkson.
Yes, I mean we played Clarkson 4 times, and pretty much a microcosm of what our season is. Both games early on were 2-1. I think they scored 2 empty netter goals. I think anybody who's used to watching a team coached by me play know that the goalie comes out pretty quick. So we give up a fair amount of empty netters if we don't get the extra attacker goal. And then a couple months later, our team has grown, and it was 1-0, and they scored with 28 seconds left to tie it 1-1 over there on Thursday. And then they scored a power play goal with 26 seconds left here on Saturday. So real close games. Our team's getting better in all these close games. Our last 10 games, other than 8 out of the last 10 have been tied after two periods. And the other 2, Harvard was up 1-0. and that's the way it finished. And then Ohio State, who's the best team we played this year, that was 4-2. So we've been real close. We have some younger kids in the lineup. We have some older kids who are playing different positions, so we've been able to grow a little bit and just trying to find that chemistry to get us over the top. We all know we're real close. I think it's a good time for the break. It's been a 20-game sprint here since the first part of October, early September, and we'll have our last practice tomorrow, and then the kids have finals next week, and then we'll be off for a couple of weeks and come back for 14 days. But record-wise, about where I thought we'd be with what we have this year, but in terms of being able to compete with the top 8 teams in the country that we've played, I've been real happy with how we've been able to do that.
Yeah. Coach, you're missing some Olympians too, aren't you? And that's a big deal, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of like graduation. I mean, the nice thing about that is we know that the 3 kids are coming back,
Right.
For next year. So they're kind of our recruiting class for next year. And because those 3 kids are gone this year, some other kids have gotten a ton of ice time that's really going to benefit them, down the road. Some of our younger kids, Allie McLeod in particular, she has 7-8 goals this year and is really taken on a lot more ice time and really been thriving with that. And, we had a grad transfer from BU was filled in, and then we had 3 other kids who spent 4 years at St. Lawrence, ended up taking a 5th year because of the COVID exception by the NCAA. So they've been doing a good job. Everybody's been working as hard as they possibly can. And goals are tough to come by, and I think you see the teams that score are regularly are fewer and far between, and those are the ones that seem to be smiling a little bit more on Monday mornings.
Yeah. Coach, who are the can you talk a little bit about who the 3 Olympians are and what teams they're playing for?
Yeah, so we have 3 kids who are centralized with their Olympic teams. Julia Gosling, who is been centralized with Hockey Canada. She's one of 29 Canadians. And unfortunately, she actually just got cut this past weekend, so she didn't make it. She was the youngest player on the team. Great experience for her, and they certainly have high hopes for her for 2026. But she won't come back with us this year. She'll end up taking the whole year off and keep that year of eligibility, and she'll still have 3 years eligibility left with us. And then we have two players who are with the Chinese national team, and they're centralized over in Russia. They're playing in the Russian league right out of Moscow. They're certainly having an interesting experience. I haven't had a ton of contact with them. One was born in China and then raised in Michigan, and then the other has some. Her grandmother was, I believe, Chinese, and they were able to give both the men's and women's teams, I think, 14 Olympic passports for non-Chinese players, and they're 2 of the 14 on the women's team. So all 3 of those kids, they were our 2 top scorers last year, but all 3 of those kids logged a ton of minutes for our team that lost to Colgate in the championship game. So right. We'll welcome them back with open arms, but we've been real happy with the effort and the attitude and energy with the team that we have right now.
It's great. I have a son up there, Coach. My son is a freshman at St. Lawrence, and hopefully my daughter's going up there to play lacrosse. We'll see. It's in discussions right now, so that'd be a great place for her. And I know you know a lot about that. You have children that also go to St. Lawrence and are quite successful as well, correct?
Yeah. So our oldest daughter is a junior, and she plays on the women's lacrosse team, and our son Bobby, and we've crossed paths at many of the tournaments. All the 50 field lacrosse tournaments over the day, and have been able to get reacquainted with Trish. And but I think that they're both really looking forward to the spring, and both a new coach. Coach Martin with the women's lacrosse team. I know she's pretty excited about taking over, and local people have done pretty well here at St. Lawrence coaching teams. I believe that she's going to do a great job with the women's lacrosse team, and then obviously Mike's done a fabulous job with the men's lacrosse team, and they're loaded this year. It was fun watching them play in the fall, and again, they were missing, a ton of players with injury or kids taking the semester off so they could come back and play their 5th year too. So I think a lot of excitement around both lacrosse programs, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that we have another North Country player heading this way.
That's great. Hey, Coach, we have 3 young ladies on right now. All play for the Oswego Buccaneers 12U team. They just won their tournament this weekend. All of them key contributors on their team. If you had any words of wisdom, because I know they probably won't ask you a lot of questions, but if you had any words of wisdom for these young ladies, what would it be?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing I probably said at practice today. The 3 main focuses are stop on the puck, have fun, and have fun. And those are the 3 key points for our games here that we played today in practice. And I think back to traveling around with our kids to all the tournaments and being able to play. My wife and I miss those times dearly. The weekends that we were able to spend with the kids and just had a lot of fun, and really enjoyed just being around the group, because a lot of times, playing from 12 years old to 17 years old, you look back and see that those are some of the most fun times that you have, because obviously things get a little bit more serious when you get into college. It doesn't mean you can't stop having some fun, but obviously when you're younger and you don't think about all the things that you should be thinking about when you're college, you get to go out and have a good time. But, the old cliche, did you work hard? Did you have fun? And that's what we asked our kids, and they said yes. And that was it. We went and got some pizza or McDonald's or whatever it was. And that was it. But just continue to have fun. I think, playing as many sports is harder to do nowadays with the wraparounds. And I heard snow belt, and I heard all these names for the teams here when I jumped on the show. Snow belt, wraparound.
Yeah.
And trying to fit the other sports in. But as you know, Mike, lacrosse has been a great sport for many kids. And, I think if, our son Bobby, I hope I'm not speaking out of school for him, but I mean, he was interested in playing hockey, but he also played a lot of other sports. And due to injury and not being able to get out and play a couple of the seasons, he went to the gunnery. And for 3 years, he essentially had an injury 1 year, a half injury for half a year, second year, and then COVID his 3rd year. So if he put all his eggs in one basket for hockey, he would not be able to participate in collegiate sports. And now he's thrilled to be able to play lacrosse here for Coach Mahoney. So being able to play multiple sports, I think, is something that you should continue to do for as long as you can. If you love playing a sport, play it, no matter what.
Yeah. And he can hit up a golf ball too, Chris. That Bobby Wells.
And he's starting to be a little bit of a shark out there too. So he's enjoying
Don't
it.
play with him.
There's a good group. It's obviously growing up in the North Country. These kids have taken a ton of advantage, having 2 courses here, and both courses take great care of the younger kids, even when they were juniors. And, the junior golf league that, Joe Keniston and John Pesdek started up, and now I think Ricky Berkman kind of took it over too, and has given a great opportunity for a lot of the younger kids, male and female, to play golf, which we all know is a lot of fun. So there's a lot of 16 to 20-year-old kids around up here that know how to play golf because of that North Country Junior Golf League or tour. The Junior Tour is what it was called. So
awesome. We're going to be up your way. I think we're going to be up your way Saturday night for a little tilt between the Watertown Wolves and the Canton Bears 14U team. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Is that at
the pavilion, the Ice Palace?
It's certainly the Ice Palace. My dad was one of the first people. There was a group of 10 people that kind of got fundraising for that. And you talk about my history. We grew up, not to drag on too long here, but in high school, there was only one rink in Canton. So we practiced at 5:30 in the morning at Appleton Arena. That's the only time we had practice. And then the pavilion was natural ice. So only when it got really, really cold for an extended period of time that they could keep the ice for a while. And we would play maybe 1 or 2 games there a year. And then my senior year, they ended up having the artificial ice, and that made such a huge difference. I think we beat Messina for the first time in like 15 years. And but we were able to practice in the afternoon, which was a lot better. But most importantly, we were able to practice the next day after a game. We would play Messina or Watertown or Thousand Islands. You drive home, you're not going to get up at 5 4:45, 5 in the morning to go to practice. So we always had the day off after games. So we probably practiced anywhere from 15 to 20 more times our senior year due to the pavilion, and it made a big difference. And I think you saw a lot of success from those Canton teams in the years after. And when you're in there this weekend, you can see, I think they won 4 state championships in the mid to late 90s, and that is without question due to the ability to practice more at the pavilion and the facility and be able to skate more, because we only had one ice sheet in town until that was 1987.
Yeah. So, hey, Jillian, Clementine, Estelle, not too often that young lady hockey players get to talk to a Division I college hockey coach. If you do have any questions of Coach Wells, I think now is probably the time to ask. And all of you are probably going to be real shy and not ask, but I think Estelle might have a question. Do you have any questions, Estelle? Clementine, Jillian? No?
How about a story from this past weekend that you can share with Coach Wells? I mean,
Are you
Jillian,
happy that
sweet
you're
goal
happy about your championship win?
I had a good goal.
Yeah. Why don't you tell Coach Wells about the goal you scored? Right? Because you said you were out there. She traditionally plays what position you normally play?
Defense, but I was moved up to offense because it was just like, hey, you want to play offense? I was like, sure. So I went up, and it was me and 2 other girls, obviously, and we went up after the puck drop, and then I don't know how to explain it, but
So you guys had a sizable lead. What did Coach tell you about scoring?
well, he did tell us to not score because we were already up like 7-0. And one of the defenders passed it up to me, and it was a good play because I was right on the blue line, and I tapped it in so I wasn't offsides. And then I just kind of shot, and the goalie didn't do the butterfly completely, so I got like a little corner off of it, and yeah.
No matter what coaches tell you, it's tough to tell goal scorers not to score, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So she got a nice
awesome.
goal.
We have we have at the moment 1, 2, possibly 3 defensemen who will be up playing forward for us when we come back in January. So I guess I'll put that on the list of any words of advice for anybody out there that's still playing. Being able to play forward or defense is very good. And because we move kids back and forth, we want kids to be able to be as productive as possible and play in spots that they enjoy. So we have a couple of D that are playing forward, and possibly a forward moving back to D. So if coach asks you to go play forward, go play forward. If she asks you to go play D, you go play D. If they ask you to go play goalie, run. Get out of the rink.
Yep. Estelle started off in goal, so she can play goal.
Goalies' parents are always standing by themselves somewhere.
That's true. That's so true. Usually down by the glass watching their goalie, right?
That's what we're doing.
That's right.
All right, Coach. We're not going to keep you. You're a busy guy. You got a lot going on. Big thanks. Really appreciate you jumping on. I know you're busy, and
I'm glad we finally found a time here. This is great. Appreciate you guys having me on.
All right. Best of luck for the rest of the season. We'll be up to watch your Go Saints go.
Okay. What time's the game Saturday?
Is it 5:30? Do you guys know? I think it's 5:30 at the pavilion. And I think Berkman's stopping over. I talked to him. He's donating. We have a charity lacrosse tournament we're doing down here for the young boy who passed away from Carthage. And Berkey and Coach Mo are donating some swag to the event for us so that we can, raffle off some items. So it was really nice of Coach Berkman, really nice of Coach Mo to be able to do that and support the lacrosse community down here. And they always do. Those guys, they support us huge. So, yep.
Good guys.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And Berkey's a good golfer too.
Yeah, his son is. I was looking at some scores from up the other day. Tyler he had 2 and 8 in one game. He had 2 goals and 8 assists last week in a game. I don't know who the heck they played, but
Ricky's probably doing the stats. That's why.
Yeah, that's probably it. He's padding them, right? He's padding them. We were talking about that was with Joe O'Donnell today. We were talking about that. All right, Coach. We won't keep
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for jumping on. We appreciate it.
You got.
Thank
Have
Thank
a
you.
good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A great night.
I got to sign both screens off here. Is that what you're saying?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You got to put your reading glasses
Figure
on
that
to
out.
do that.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
dating
Thank
yourself.
All right.
Awesome. Great talk. So now the girls from the Oswego 12U are going to have to talk. So maybe is Coach Keegan getting on?
I think he's right next to
Jillian, you have to turn on your Jillian and Clementine. One of the rules is you have to turn on your microphone because we have to be able to hear you when you talk.
He's right there.
He's right there. There he is. Hey, Coach.
Keegan.
Mike.
Hey, hey. So you know what? In order to get these young ladies to talk, Coach, why don't you tell us a little bit about the tournament this weekend? Because we just had a Division I college hockey coach on, ladies coach at that, from St. Lawrence, and I couldn't get a question out of these young ladies.
I know it's tough. Jillian
Yeah.
has been all day.
Yeah.
All day. She's been thinking about this.
Jillian, it's just like talking to me at the rink.
That's what I said.
You see that ugly V Dan Dallin guy all the time, and that Cameron and Trey. You see them all the time.
And you know everybody here, so it's just talking naturally.
That's it.
Yeah. We played for what was the tournament called?
It's
The shooting.
Well, I know.
Stars. The Richard Talty or Kevin Talty, right?
yeah.
Kevin
I
Talty.
think Talty. Yeah, Shooting Star.
Shooting Stars tournament in Ithaca, New York. Like Dan said, I think he said it last podcast. I just listened to last podcast, so if I say something, it's probably because I was just listening to that. Played at Cass and the rink. So we played. The girls had 3 games on Saturday. First one was at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and then 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And we jumped around rink to rink. Had a little time in between there to walk around Ithaca and see the little festival that was going on there. It was pretty nice. And the girls had very successful weekend. Lots of goals scored. The girls did not give up very many goals.
Yeah.
It came down to the championship game where they finally let in 3 goals.
Yeah. Game 1 against Monroe County. Bucks win 8-0. And I see Clementine on the score sheet. I see Marissa Sharkey on the score sheet. I see Estelle Dalin on the score sheet. I see Jillian Keegan. I see you guys on every score sheet. You guys are scoring lots of goals. That's a big 8 goals. Is that the game, Stelly? Is that the game where you scored the goal?
Yes.
Late? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
we
was.
said that she was told not to score. So she had the puck though. She didn't even know it went in because she blacked out when it left her stick.
But after that shift, she must have blacked out because she came back down to the defensive side and said, "I'm done."
And is it Kara Sue? Is that how you pronounce her last name? I think she's also on the score sheet.
For sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, a lot of
Who was your?
from the defensive line. So Estelle, Kara.
What is it? I don't think they asked what team is.
No, they haven't scored yet. They'll get there. We got some girls that are coming along very well.
Yeah, what about Ava? Ava scored, right?
No.
LaSalle?
She's
No?
itching to score. She's itching. She tries
Yeah.
every game.
Yeah.
Just can't put it in yet. And Clementine there, she's a good little goal scorer too.
Yeah, I'm seeing her like a lot. Clementine, how many goals do you have? Do you know?
I don't know, but in that weekend I scored 4 times, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, that's great. Did you win the second game 2-0 against Ithaca? I mean 8-0 against Ithaca. So you won 8-0 and 8-0?
Yes.
Yeah.
8-0. And
And then
then 2-0.
Nothing.
Yep.
Wow. So in the 8-0 game, Clementine had a goal. 2 more by Marissa Sharkey. This is from Jillian, also known as the Bean. Her report. Bean is in the field reporting. So when you guys aren't on, I get Bean's right up. Her mother probably has a lot to do with that. No, you do it yourself?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, so we try to take notes. We'll ask questions like, hey, who had that goal and who scored that goal? We'll do a little write up like on my phone, and then she types it up Sunday night.
Yeah. Is it Mia Nauman? Is that how
Yeah.
you say her last name?
Mhm.
She had a goal, and Peyton Colucci had a hat trick.
Yep.
Jeez, we should have
Yeah,
probably had
Peyton-
Peyton on for the Hattie.
Great. Yeah.
Well,
So-
that's awesome.
Claire Furlong, she scored a ton too.
Yeah, I see her name a lot too.
Scored a lot of good hockey. It's just a good weekend.
Dan, did you call a bunch of these games?
So I got the second and third period of Saturday night's game because that was the soonest I can get down there. And then I did the championship game. The championship game is at the rink, which has some of the nicest looking Wi-Fi equipment that's around, but no Wi-Fi coverage at all. So we played there. Unity played there against the Wranglers over the summer. And that's actually the first place that I stole internet from a router. And so, which is good because that got me outfitted. As soon as I walked up, I didn't recognize that place when I walked into the arena or into the lobby area. But as soon as I opened up the door to the rink, I was like, oh, I know where this router is. We're fine. I plugged right into it. And
Yep.
Unity,
I love hearing it. Cameron, stand up so we can see it.
Well,
there we go.
Where can they find those broadcasts?
Well, yeah.
I think I watched the championship game. I actually, you know what? I listened to the championship game on the way back from Tupper Lake.
Yeah, boy, how'd you listen to that, Coach?
I listened to it on the Dan Dalin. Dan Dalin was broadcasting live, and I could tell you a little story, ladies, that you might find quite funny. Is that Cameron and Trey were playing in their state qualifying game against Tupper Lake. Had a great game, by the way. Good job, boys. Give me a couple thumbs up over there.
And Daniel, Jillian's brother.
Oh, and yeah, I shouldn't leave out, the Keeganator. That's what we call him. The Keegs, man. We call him Keegs. That's what we call him for line change. Like, Keegs, you're up. But anyways, when we left the rink, I knew it was on. So Trey, my wing, he's good at being a wingman. He's a color analyst. He's a wingman. He gets YouTube running. Even if I'm yelling at him, he still gets YouTube running. And he was playing it, and I was hearing those goals, and I thought that they were losing, because I think they got a couple goals in a row against you guys. And I'm like, oh my God, somebody is scoring against this team. So then I heard Jillian Keegan. I think she got the 5th goal of the game.
Yeah.
She did. So
Right
then
after the nail in
I'm
the
not going to admit, Jillian, I'm not going to admit to texting while driving, but I might have a voice to text Karen Dalin and Angela Keegan, who were driving together, and told them, oh my God, this is awesome. They're going to win. And I think I blew it for them because I think they were on a time delay. They were behind me in the game.
I think they were streaming through Karen's phone and went through bad patch of cell. So they ended up like 10 minutes behind. And they got they're like, oh.
They hit a dead spot in the cell service, and so it just stopped playing back for them. And when they got back into service, it started playing the game from the last point that they had listened. It did not jump it up to live, and they did not advance it to live. So they were still hearing it in sequence, but not in real time. So yeah, Coach Ledoux, when you texted them, oh my God, Jillian scored the 5th goal, they had no idea. Last they knew it was tied.
Whoops, sorry. Hey, so we got to get going here. Oh, go ahead.
Right off the face-off, I think you almost scored again, like 2 back-to-back goals, didn't you, Jillian?
Yeah.
See, Trey was listening too, even though he was pretending to be asleep. No, I'm just
kidding.
Cameron, were you listening?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, Cameron was in the back seat. He's on his phone. He's texting everybody.
He's Snapchatting pictures of his eyebrow and his forehead.
No, more than that.
All right, real quick before we wrap this up, I want to get a little blurb from each one of you on where you have played in the past and how you got to the Oswego 12U. So we'll start with Clementine. When did you start playing hockey, and what teams have you played for, and how did you get to the Bucks?
Well, I started as a Buck. I played as a Mite when I was younger. I think I started playing hockey when I was like 4 or 5. And I just kind of continued going up the scale. And yeah.
What other sports do you play?
I play lacrosse.
What's your favorite?
I don't know, to be honest. I couldn't really make that decision.
It's like depends on what season it is.
Yeah.
Cool. And are you going to be 14U next year, or are you staying 12U?
I'm going 14U next year.
Oh, cool. We're talking about maybe having a Unity girls team, so there might be some options there for you. Jillian Keegan, tell us a little bit about your life in hockey, and don't be shy because you're just talking to us.
Okay, so I first started, well, I slept through my brother's practices when I was like 2. And then I quit dance because I want to play hockey. Started when I was 4. I played for Salmon River. And I played there until I was a second year Pee-wee, because I started Pee-wees early. And then I tried out for 4 different teams, I think. I made a couple of them, but I decided to go to Oswego because I really wanted to play here.
Mhm.
And now I'm on the 12U team.
You like it? It's a good team. Sounds like it because you guys win championships. You must be a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Good team. Yep.
Clementine, what position do you play? I forgot to ask you.
I play forwards.
That doesn't
Yep.
really matter.
Offense.
What about you, Jillian? Am I digital? Did I go digital? Jillian, what position do you play?
Oh, I play winger, and I can play defense and center, but I don't usually play those.
All right, it's up to you, Stell. Tell us a little bit about your life in hockey.
All right, so how hockey all started was when I was like 2 or 3, chasing Cameron and Bailey with a knee hockey stick around yelling hockey.
Yep, I told this story when we started.
What?
I told this story when we started doing the podcast. It's the first thing I said.
And of course, them two were scared of their minds because it's a plastic stick and I'm chasing them with it and they don't know what a little girl can do with it. So obviously they ran. And then we decided to start playing hockey, and I started off as 4 years old playing for Salmon River as a mite. And I was actually the first one out of the whole mites team to learn how to skate. Well, it's because our group of mites, it's the younger mites, then the middle age mites, and then the older mites. And so obviously I was new, so I was a mini mite. So as the tinier mites, I was the first person to really know how to skate. So I taught everyone else. And then I moved up. And then my last year of squirt, I decided I want to try something new. Actually, no. The end of
mites.
No.
You became golden.
Anyway.
I know where we were going with this story. I thought I was helping.
And then after my first year of squirts, not my second year, after the end of my first year of squirts, I decided I want to try something new. So I did the same thing as Jillian, 4 different teams, and I made a couple of them. And, I decided to do Oswego, and here I am today.
That's awesome. That's a great story. That's almost as long as Coach Wells' story, and he's 50 years old, so that's pretty good. You've done a lot of stuff in hockey. A couple things. 3 last things before I go. Well, 2 last things before we move on is I'm really curious, and I don't know what number Clementine is, but I do know that 75 and 86 are your numbers respectively. Why 75 and 86? First of all, Estelle, why 75, and Jillian, why 86?
First.
What?
He said you. Why 75?
Why did you pick 75? That's not a real popular hockey number.
Well, I picked 75 because, first of all, 22 was already taken. And I was kind of upset, I guess. And so I was just looking at numbers and I was like, 75 kind of fits. And my mom was like, yeah, I know a hockey player 75. I was like, yeah, you do? And she goes, yeah, they're defense. And I was like, okay. So that's how I kind of became 75. And I enjoy it.
You'll be the official 75 from now on. Now, 86, how did you choose your number? One less than Sidney Crosby, or what are we thinking here?
No, so I like the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Squirt.
Nikita Kucherov.
Yeah. Squirts, I started out as 91 because Jake Myros, he had number 11. We were on the same team. So
I don't know who he is.
91.
He had the same number as you? He wanted 91 and he got it?
No, he wanted 11 and I wanted 11. He got 11.
Okay.
And then they asked for like a list of numbers we wanted this season. So my first was 91. That was taken. My second was 37. That was taken by Peyton Colucci on our team. And then 86 for Nikita Kucherov. So
Cool. I like 37 because it's Patrice Bergeron, but he's not a Tampa Bay Lightning.
I actually met Yanni Gord.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yanni.
He came. Yeah, he came down to your place. I remember that. Clementine, what number do you wear and why? Or is it just random?
Number 21, and both of my sisters, my older sisters, have had 21 throughout like the whole hockey experience. So it just kind of like runs in the family, I guess. So yeah, that's how I kind of ended 21.
Awesome. All right, ladies. Well, I think that's a wrap. We appreciate you being on. We appreciate having a championship team on, and you guys are definitely a championship team. I do know that you have Lysander. Is that correct? This coming weekend, and I think Lysander is a pretty good challenge. I think they have a pretty good program over there. And then you have Rome.
That's the team they just beat in the championship.
Yeah. So
the 2-0 game, 5-3 game. And then we're gonna play them on Saturday. So
yeah,
So Angela must be psyched about that. She likes playing teams 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
Like us and Cicero.
Saturday, 1-2 on Sunday. I predicted 2-goal differential here on Saturday.
Going out on a limb. Awesome. Hey, ladies. Well, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it. Make sure you tell your friends about the Power Play podcast sponsored by Power Play Sports to make sure that they listen and get to hear you guys on the podcast. And best of luck for the rest of the season. Keep us dialed in on what's going on with the Oswego Buccaneers 12U team.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Awesome. Thank you.
The reports from the Bean out in the field.
Yeah, keep reporting, Dean. Have a good night, ladies.
You too. Thank you.
Hey.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
All right, we got some other scores and stuff to go through. Cameron, I think we already covered your Clarkson data, huh? We got that wrap up from Coach Wells.
Yep.
Yeah, I have an update on my name now. So it's even better.
Oh yeah, Canucks are better than the Bruins, Islanders, and Sabres. I think those guys are playing right now.
No, not till 9.
Oh, not till 9.
An hour.
We already highlighted some high school stuff with IHC. Do we have any? Does anybody have any other hockey scores from the college report?
Oh, I have the Saints men's hockey and the Clarkson men's. And
Yeah, can you run those scores by us?
Yeah. So Saturday, December 3rd, the St. Lawrence Saints men's team lost 4-1 against Cornell University. Then Saturday, December 4th, they won 4-3 against Colgate University.
Nice. And then what do you got for Clarkson?
Clarkson men's. Friday, December 3rd, they won 2-1 against Colgate. And then Saturday, December 4th, they tied 4-4, went to an overtime, scoreless overtime, went into a shootout, and Clarkson actually pulled it off in the shootout and won over Cornell.
Oh, nice. A lot of shootouts lately. High
Yeah.
school shootouts.
Yeah, you know
college
that they don't
shootouts.
technically count for the NCAA. Do they?
Yeah, I know. I noticed that recently. And then you noticed, Cam, that the girls don't have shootouts after the games just end.
Yeah.
Because it was a 1-1 tie, right? Wasn't there a 1-1 tie in that one of those?
One
games
tie
we
went
showed?
to an
Yeah.
overtime, no one scored, and it just ended.
Right,
It was
that's
nothing
it.
else.
What do you got from RIT? I know you got some RIT info out there, Coach.
Yeah, RIT has not played since Thanksgiving.
No?
No.
Anybody look up Coach Moff and what's going on over in Plattsburgh? Somebody check that out. See if they can find that score. I got an update on the FPHL, the Watertown Wolves. And this is some good news for the Watertown Wolves. I just pulled this up the other day, and surprisingly, first place, another win. They beat the Danbury Hat-Tricks. So the Wolves are really flying high. Justin McDonald is the leading scorer in the entire league, and 27 points. And Brendan Colgan is the leading goaltender in the FBHL with 1.87 goals against average. What do you got, Trey?
We played in the Danbury Hat-Tricks home arena. They're over the summer.
We sure did. Yeah.
That's crazy. They're part of the FHL.
Yeah, and that's the the special that was on about the hockey program.
Yeah.
That's the arena that it took place in. That special that they had on Netflix.
Yeah, that was the Danbury Trashers arena. Now it's Danbury, and now it's the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
Right. Yeah. I think they're a new team in the league, the Danbury Hat-Tricks. You remember that rink, Cam? That's the one we lost the championship game to that team.
Really, that one?
Yeah, that rink of all rinks, right?
One thing I want to talk about, it doesn't have to do with hockey necessarily, but Chris Wells said his dad taught it in Canton for 45 years, and his mom taught for 25 years. That's just a crazy commitment to the community. 70
really
combined
is.
years.
Yeah, I think they're super well known, obviously. Coach Wells is a big name up there, and he's hilarious. You got to see him behind the bench. He will pull a goaltender. I've seen him pull a goalie with 11 minutes left in a game.
Wow.
9 minutes or something like that a couple of years ago. And they scored. They scored. They were they got a power play. They were down by 3, pulled their goalie. They went 6-on-4. They went 6-on-4 out there.
Wow.
Okay, that's a good move.
That's the sort of thing that I've thought of in the past. Like, how come people don't do that more often?
Yeah.
You're really going to command the puck. Let's really take control.
Right, especially if you're down by a couple.
So
we talked
the boys, right? Plattsburgh boys. They tied last night 2-2 in overtime.
Yep.
And they won on Friday over SUNY Potsdam 1-0.
SUNY Potsdam's got a good team this year.
Yeah, and if you jump over to the girls, they win. Right there.
Yeah, they win everything. They never don't win. If you haven't ever followed the Plattsburgh women's hockey team, I don't know. It's just amazing. They're like the U.S. Olympic soccer team, or they make the New England Patriots look weak.
Right. So the women's team has lost 2 games this year. And that, I think, ties them with the second most number of losses in a single season.
20 years or something.
25 years, yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So, hey, Coach Moff, if you are listening, or if anybody from Plattsburgh is listening, shout out to one of our alumni guests. We appreciate you being on. We did have a highlight already on the Obey versus Amherst game, the 6-2 win in the first game of their championship. Obey then won against IHC 8-2 in the championship game. Love to talk a little bit about IHC. Won in a 4-3 shootout. We mentioned that earlier. Really great goal by Logan Gilbert, hat trick by Jaden Romig. Mick O'Donnell scored the big celebratory goal that got him to play against Obey. So that was really good for them. Do you know how the Ontario Bay team fared last night, Coach? I know they played last night.
Yeah, so they played against Mohawk Valley at the Kennedy Arena in Rome, and they won 3-2. Mohawk Valley had 2 goals, one by Logan Donito, assisted by Jaden Lawrence, and then their second goal, Jaden Lawrence, assisted by Logan Donito. So as long as those 2 kids are out on the ice, they have a chance. Ontario Bay, Blevins got a goal, assisted by Matt Olson. Joe Brodeur, assisted by David Stern from Cody Mashaw. And then Casey Wilson with the assist by Bryce Goodenough. Colin Bennett coming away with 25 saves in that game.
Hey, Colin Bennett, shout out, bro. Playing really well this year. You just look firm in the net. You look like you're focused. And big shout out to Colin Bennett. Had a great weekend. I watched y'all weekend. You're a Unity guy. A lot of Unity guys. Just heard more Unity names there. Bryce Goodenough. I heard lots of great names. So, hey, big shout out to Colin. Good job out there.
Another goalie that did great in the Lamont Nicholson tournament, Trey White. He played great in that Amherst versus Fulton game.
Yeah.
Played amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. You were calling his name left and right. I think if you listen to that broadcast, you hear a lot of Trey White in that one for sure.
There were a lot of white boys who apparently are cousins, not brothers.
Oh yeah, that was made pretty clear to you, right?
It was.
Yeah. Saying last night, another high school action called by the Dan Dalin. We had a game, Immaculate Heart Central IHC played CNS, Cicero North Syracuse. That was down in Cicero, correct?
Yes, it was at Cicero 29, the NHL arena.
Yep. And we had a close game for a while. Was it a 3-3 game going into the third period?
Yes, it was.
And it was 3-3 actually late, and then Cicero North Syracuse got a goal maybe 7 minutes into the third period, went up 4-3, grabbed another one, went up 5-3, and then and pulled the goalie. And was there a Hattie in that game?
Yeah. So I think to me this is a great story. It was what do we say, 5-3, and IHC pulled the goalie. And coming down with that puck across the middle was William Madeley, number 4. He saw on his right side, Braden Porter, number 7, was coming along with him, and he passed the puck off to Braden. He had a clear shot at an open net himself, but he gave it to Braden Porter so Braden could get that hat trick. I mean,
that's classy.
Very classy. That's a team player. That's how you show leadership while you're playing on the ice, regardless of where the C is located on the team.
Absolutely. That's 100% true. Hey, I got a couple of scores I got to squeak in. I got to make sure I cover a lot of these things. We still have to talk a little bit about the 92 challenge. We have to talk about the mop of the week.
And Trey's trivia.
And Trey. Yeah, Trey, why don't you launch your trivia? Let's do that. There you go.
We have to get that music going one of these days.
Yeah, we do have to get that. We'll get that. I don't know if we have D.Dan Dalin, is that something like that copyrighted that we can't use on our podcast?
No, we're not making money, so I think we do whatever we want.
All right, good deal. All right, Trey.
Maybe we make our own trivia music.
Yeah, maybe we do. Yeah.
All right. So the first question I have for you guys is, how much does the Trigger 7 cost? We were talking about that earlier.
I'm gonna get that stick is expensive. That thing's over $250. I'm gonna say $269. Trigger 7 by CCM. No Googling it. Cam, have you seen that stick?
No, I've only heard of the 6. I've never heard of the 7.
Yeah, the 7 I think is coming to Power Play Sports soon.
Well, you have any guesses, Cameron and Dan?
I know what the 6 costs because I Googled it. I didn't know there was a 7.
How much is the 6? Because the 7's going to be more.
Yeah, so the 6 is $200 with a pro grip. It's $310.
I think $369.
$369?
Yeah,
wow, you're probably right.
I'm gonna go.
Those are our guesses.
How's that?
Wait, what did you say? What?
$450.
Who would pay? It's gonna get to that. It's gonna get to that, guys.
It's gonna get to that one. It's gonna get to that someday. If like
and our friend Jacob Myros will have 2 of them. Right.
It's like baseballs back then used to cost like what, like 49 cents. Now they're like $2, something like that. $6.80 up there, really high.
The correct
what do you got
answer,
for us, Trey? What's the correct answer?
Closest. The winner of this is Cameron, because the answer was $350.
Oh, it's 19 off.
Wow. So you know what?
300.
All you hockey punks, if I just say that I got a great stick for sale, that's $450. I'll sell at least a dozen of them this weekend.
You probably will, because everybody will think it's something new and exciting. You just got to put a wrap over it and call it the Trigger 8. All right, you're up. Next trivia question with your little party hat there.
That's for Cam because he's the winner, unlike you guys.
Okay, cool.
Who won the Stanley Cup in 2010?
Oh God. I have no idea.
2010 Stanley Cup.
Pittsburgh Penguins. The Pittsburgh Penguins.
I'm gonna wait for Cameron and Dan to answer with their guesses.
I'm gonna say a hockey team that plays in the NHL.
You have a 1 in 31 chance.
This is 21 now, so 11 years. Oh, 2010. So Estelle was born right before that. Born right before Estelle.
Because I know the Boston Bruins won it in 2011.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Why I'm guessing.
You have a 1 in 30 chance.
1 in 30 chance.
Well, so I know it's not the Islanders.
Not the same. Not the Islanders. Not Nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Pittsburgh.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go. Going Pittsburgh.
You got
The correct answer is the Chicago Blackhawks.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Huh?
Pretty Chicago.
Jonathan Tays, Patrick Kane, that crew.
Oh,
All right. All right. Trey, last one. Trivia question 3. And this is for the audience, probably more than us.
The final question is, which NHL defenseman has the most points in history?
In history.
Which NHL defenseman has the most points in history?
And on top
I
of
know
that,
the
you
answer
can
to that.
answer which NHL defenseman has the most points right now.
I can answer both of them.
Okay. Let's hear
I'm
it.
gonna go with Raymond Bourque and
Correct.
Adam Fox.
Correct. Both are correct, but
Wow.
Adam Fox is tied with someone.
Akil Makar.
Incorrect.
All right. I don't know. Give
Victor
us-
Hedman.
Victor Hedman, Tampa Bay Lightning.
Coach, I know how involved I am in youth hockey. I know how involved you must be in youth hockey. I have no idea how you have time to know all this about the pros.
I'm kind of a little crazy about it, I guess. You know.
Yeah, but he still doesn't know as much as me. So
No, I don't. I definitely don't.
Trey, how many Stanley Cups can you name? Like from was
All right,
it
let's try.
2000? Like
Can I try it
what
real
is it?
No, we
like,
gotta.
from,
Hey,
like,
we gotta jump.
2001?
We gotta jump. I got a ton of stuff to
That's
cover,
it.
gentlemen, and it's getting towards
Okay.
the witching hour. We can't go much more than another 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I got reports from Piper going us in the field. But if we could squeeze that in. Okay, Piper gives me a report on the Lady Pirates 16U team. Last weekend they played in a tournament, 5 games. Played Ithaca Stars, they lost. Played Hamburg, they won 5-1. Played Ithaca Stars 2 more times. Sounds like they were at a shortage for tournament players, teams. They lost the first time, won the second time, and wound up playing in the championship against the Troy Albany Ice Cats, who I know are a very good team. Troy Albany Ice Cats versus the Lady Pirates 16U. Final score in the championship game was Troy Albany 2, Lady Pirates 0. And the Lady Pirates failed to win the championship, but did take second place. So that's great. That's a great effort by them. So Piper, Jonas, thank you very much for the report. I did get some reports out of the Watertown Association. I got a report from Coach Hannah Sherrill of the Mite program, played in the Mites, and I saw lots of great pictures from Lake Placid. A lot of kids were up there. I saw, who did I see up there? I saw Sophia up there. Sophia Williams was up there. I saw Weston was up there, and there was a big Mite Jam up there. And Coach Hannah wanted to highlight Braden Noah Morrow's little brother, and Savannah the Wall Walton for the debut goalie game, and how they stopped multiple shots on net, because as Mites, everybody gets a turn in the net, right? And they played on the 32 arena, which is really cool, in Lake Placid. So it was a really good time. And the 6U team played some games with Lowville and TI over at Power Play Sports on their new ice. So that's really cool for them. So, and Coach Hannah wanted everybody to know, and Cam and Trey, make note of this because a few of your teammates are doing this, that she is still looking for some student coaches to work with the Mite program. And I know that Carter, Jose, Connor, and somebody else is working with those guys out there.
Aiden.
Help. Who is it?
Aiden
Aiden. Yeah,
Terry.
that's right. I saw Aiden Terry. Actually, he had his he didn't have his goalie equipment on. So those 4
Yeah.
guys, Aiden Terry too. Yep. So maybe we need to get some more 14Us involved in that. That's a great program. She has student coaches out there helping out the Mites. Got a couple of reports from the Nutting boys. Charlie Nutting, WHA 12U Red against Valley. They had previously beaten Valley, but they were missing several players this weekend. And, every team's going through missing players with a lot of different sicknesses going around and things like that. Charlie Nutting and Mikey Nichols split the game, half and half. Final score was 8-2. Valley won after already having been beat by the Watertown Hockey Association 12U Red team. So they're looking forward to a rematch to kind of see who wins the rematch. Our 14U white team is off to a great start. They're in first place in the white division. Snowbelt, by the way. Braylon Nutting, former Mullet of the Week winner and a teammate of these guys, is a defenseman on that team. Bray gave me a good report. 12-4, they beat, they played Rome, and they, let me just see here. What is it? No. I'm sorry, wrong one. 14 white versus Potsdam. I'm sorry. End of the first period, 1-1. Didn't know a lot about the team. Had a goal in the second period. Scored 3 more. Game ended 4-1. Braylon says players to note in that game are obviously Noah Thompson. And Noah's transitioned to defense, playing a great job on defense. Noah Morrow. Aiden McAloon has been scoring a lot for them. And obviously the legendary Brody McGregor, who's playing all over the place. He's playing for 16U, 14U, high school. He played high school game this weekend against the Obey kids. So shout out to those guys. And then the other game, go ahead, Trey.
I just said he played great too.
Yeah, I love to see him come out and play. It
was exciting.
Yeah, very.
Trey and I almost exploded with excitement in the broadcast when we saw Brody hitting the ice.
Yeah, right when he stepped out.
I said, "Oh, Brody McGregor is coming on the ice," and then you should have seen the look on Dan's face. He was just like,
Hey, and this is a really interesting. I was looking at Braylon's report. This is really interesting. I guess Rome beat the white team 5-4 in a preseason game, and they played them again this weekend in Alex Bay. The white team did. Yeah, they played a game up at Alex Bay this weekend. That's right. And Braden also makes note that he likes the ice there because it's super hard, which you guys know. That ice there is awesome at the Alex Bay. They came out strong, 4-0 at the end of the first period. Rome scored 3 on a rally, and then they got it together 5 minutes into the third, played our game, worked hard. Things got a little bit chippy, but they wound up with the win 5-3 in the long run. Players of the game, Elton Hammond on defense, Tanner Birkenstock. Tanner's always buzzing around out there forward, and Aiden Terry with an amazing job in goal, right? So awesome job. Congratulations and shout out to the 14U. Thanks, Braylon and Charlie Nutting, for getting that information from the field to us. Good stuff. We already talked about the 14U game in Tupper Lake, our first qualifying game. Our game against Binghamton was postponed due to COVID, right? Which
COVID or refs availability?
Yeah, COVID referee availability. I guess they're still struggling. Yeah, I was talking today. We were talking that they still don't have refs for their games down there for this coming weekend. So
and Mr. Rutherford, Bryce's dad, told me that he offered to go ref the games, but they wouldn't let him.
Yeah, it was because everybody had already been canceled, and then it's 10 o'clock that morning. Like first of all, the Dallins were already on, so we would have had to figure a way to get Cam there. We weren't going to be able to have Owen. There was somebody else that couldn't play, so it's better that we just reschedule them. And Mr. Rutherford, as much as I like him, I don't want him refereeing our games. He calls too many calls against our team. He called Bryce for a penalty. Remember that penalty he called against Bryce that wasn't even a penalty? Never be critical of the refs, right, Trey? You're going to be reffing this weekend.
I'm going to be a ref on Sunday. So
yeah. And then the Tupper Lake game was great. Good win. And the key to that is teamwork. And I'm proud of the boys for a lot of the stuff they do. But 46-16 outshooting them, and you're really working as a unit. Nick Netto, couple goals. Owen O'Donnell with an assist. Blake Gregory with a couple goals. I forget who had the 5th goal. Does anybody remember? I know Owen had 2. I know. No. Nick had 2. Blake had 2, and somebody else had 1.
Nate had 1.
Nate? Yep, that's right. You're right. Nate had 1. Good call.
Nate had a really good goal. He won the faceoff at the start of the second period.
Oh, what was it? 6 seconds in.
Backhanded it in. It was amazing.
6 seconds into that second period.
Yep.
And Nick had 2 snipes from the exact same spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to all those guys. Shout out to Nate Taylor. He got his first start with IHC. He got to play in an IHC game. Got a couple shifts.
Aiden didn't have a lot of shots, but he played outstanding too.
Yeah, they had that one kid on the team that was pretty good. Was it number
27
or 3? 27 or 3 or something like that.
No, it's 27. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of,
that game was very chippy, by the way.
Yeah, and speaking of Nick Netto, that slip up at the end. What was it? 4.7 seconds left. He got the puck off the face off and really
We need a video of that,
fell on
Cameron.
his
That's a
knees.
really good point.
What
Wait,
happened?
did he do? Finish telling the story. What did he do?
Yeah.
He just like slipped up and like dropped to his knees and like then he went for the shot again and just didn't do
It
anything.
was so funny.
Did he pull a
So
Ray
I'll
J?
describe it for you. I'll give you a little bit better description because there's 4 seconds left, and Nick's going for the hat trick, 4 or 5 seconds, whatever it was. And
It's
it
like-
was Owen taking the face off, right? Was it Owen taking the face off, Cam?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think so.
Yeah. So Owen wins the face off clean right back to Nick, who has a straight shot at the net with 4 seconds left to try to get the hat trick. And he goes, and did he whiff or did he just slip and fall on the ground and then try to
He
stand back
fell.
up?
He just fell.
He
Just fell? Tried to
just
stand back
fell.
up and fell again, and the buzzer went. He never even got to try to take a shot.
No, he tried. He's like pushed it. It was
Hilarious. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
a kid got suspended for hitting me in the final 6 seconds of the game.
oh my
Oh,
God,
that's
yeah.
right. That's right. I forgot about that, Trey.
Can it wait 4 more seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did-
exactly.
did the game misconduct?
Yeah,
Yeah, he got suspended the next game too.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's
He
a
was
game.
mouthing off to the refs too. So the ref called the penalty, and then he was mouthing off to the refs pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not very sportsmanlike.
Well, I watched a game. It wasn't that long, a few weeks ago, where the ref actually called in favor of this team, but the kid just didn't grasp it. He was yelling at the ref anyway, so the ref gave him a 2-minute misconduct. He just sat him unsportsmanlike. That was it. Ah.
So we're gonna.
Arguing for his team, or for what the ref just said, but he was a jerk about it.
I get to watch the debut of Trey Ledoux as an official on Sunday in a 10U scored game. I'm really
I'm
looking forward to that.
nervous.
When is that, Trace? What time in the morning?
8 down. Mr. Horton just messaged me. I think it was 8:25
8:25.
in the morning.
8:25 in the morning on Sunday.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
officiating his first game.
Wow, I'd love to be there and play by play your officiating, but there's no way I'm coming up to Watertown if I don't have to be there.
All right.
Sorry.
I don't blame you.
8:25. That means we have to wake up at like 7 to even eat something and then leave by 7:30. No, yeah, 7:30. Get there by 8:25.
Hey, so you guys, anything else before we get into the Mao and the 92 challenge?
I think so.
You guys got anything else?
I know Obey has a game in Rome at the Kennedy Arena again on Friday, but this time it's against Rome Free Academy.
You know, I have my schedule here too. Let me take a look. I can give you the IHC update on IHC this week. CNS, and that's it. We don't play again until the 15th against Liverpool in the
Right.
Watertown Municipal Arena. So a little bit of time off for the boys from IHC. They need it. We need to just focus on some things. They're doing a great job. They're working hard, but got to get it together. Great new coach. Adam's doing a great job. So we'll get it together. All right.
On the podcast here.
What's that?
We'll have to get Adam on the podcast.
Yeah, I know. We do have to, and we also have to get Coach Olson on with the success that Obey's having right now. I want to pick his brain, figure out what he's doing down there, what he's feeding them.
Yeah.
What's in the water down there in Obey?
I agree.
These kids are just lighting it up. I think we highlighted most of Estelle and Jillian's game. It was great to have those girls on. Hey, so 92 challenge. You know what? First and foremost, we need to get mop of the week here. We have now officially run out of submissions for the mop of the week. We have replaced the mullet of the week with the mop of the week, still called the Mao, aptly named by the Dan Dalin, the Mao. You need to get, and Trey, you know, it's too bad. Turn sideways. Let us see the back of that flow. It's too bad you can't win because you got some good stuff going on there. There's some good looking stuff going on there, but you know, the disclaimer is that you are employed by the Power Play podcast and cannot win, blah, 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 blah.
That's right. You're hosting. You can't do it.
You know what we need to do is, I don't know if you've seen that official trade. Now that you're in the official circuit, there's one of our officials. His name is Mike. He's going to be taking over for Don as the lead official. He's got a heck of a mullet. Have you guys noticed that mullet on that official that does a bunch of our games?
Oh yeah, up in Watertown? Absolutely.
Yeah. He's got a great, maybe
Yeah.
he could submit. We could give it to a referee. That'd be funny.
Yeah, hey, that'd be deserving for sure.
All right. So what we have left is submit for the mop of the week, please, some images or pictures of your hockey players' super cool hair, and we will consider them. And remember, there's prizes for this, so get a picture into us. And then a 92 challenge. The 92 challenge for the week is the winner is eligible for a prize from Power Play Sports, and that prize includes either a Howie stick wax, 2 rolls of tape, or an original Power Play hat, 1 prize winner per week, and that is the 92 challenge. Post a test or quiz score with a grade of 92 or an A or higher, and you can do that by emailing us. And how do they email us, Dan?
Yeah, just like you do with the MAU, just send that picture over to powerplaypodcastnny@gmail.com. That's powerplaypodcastnny@gmail.com.
Great. I always seem to mess that up, so I'm appreciating having you here today. And now we'll shift gears and we will talk about our 92 challenge, winner. And he's a guy that we all know because he's a great teammate and a great kid. And he played with us this summer on the Unity 14U team. He originally hails from the Thousand Islands program. He's a big, tall, really awesome defenseman who is currently playing for the St. Lawrence Steel 14U team. And I know he is skating with the TI Vikings varsity hockey team. And with a very great average on his grades from his report card submitted by his mom, the winner with a 94 grade point average is Carter Finney. Carter Finney. Congratulations to you, Carter Finney. You are one heck of a hockey player and, even more importantly, one heck of a student. So you are this week's winner of the 92 challenge. And Trey just put up a little, what is that thing called? We're getting applause. We're getting little party horns for you. So great job, Carter Finney. Make sure you spread the word about the Power Play podcast to all of your friends at the St. Lawrence Steel, because you guys have a great hockey program and we'd love to have more followers from the St. Lawrence Steel. So good job, Carter. Check in. I know you're always down at Power Play Sports, so you can collect your prize there and make sure you let them know at the counter that you are the winner of the 92 challenge for an awesome report card.
Yeah, great job, Carter.
Yeah. Let me see. When are we going to be recording next week, fellas? Does it look like a Monday recording will be in order?
Ideally, I think Mondays are truly normally the best option. We had three female hockey players on earlier, and we forgot to ask them what contests we could do that's special for them. Along, how we got the MAU.
That's a good point. That really is a good point, Dan Dalin. Because, well, hopefully a lot of the girls from the Oswego 12U team will listen to the podcast based on the fact that we really highlighted their team, and maybe especially because I know when you do the notes, you're going to highlight the fact that the women's coach from St. Lawrence is on. So maybe we'll get some female listeners and you guys can come up with something that we can have that focuses on women and girls in hockey and maybe have a prize especially for you. That'd be great. So I'm going to let the Dan Dalin wrap it up. And one of the things my wife aptly pointed out is that when the Dan Dalin wraps it up, nobody talks after, because that's the end. And I noticed that last night in your broadcast too. Your broadcast ended with your tagline.
Yep.
So off to you, Dan.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining us this week on Power Play Podcast NNY. And remember, don't wait for it to be a good day. Make it a great day, everyone.